Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nadlan. Today we are here at the weekend. It's beautiful out there. We're going to a friend's party soon, so it's going to be a wonderful weekend. But we didn't want to leave you hanging for the weekend without some updates from our website and our forums. You are welcome to join our Hebrew forum and English forum, and we have also forums for different states. So we had quite a bit of debates recently. So let's take a look. Okay, so first of all, about sinkholes. I was looking at some properties in Tampa that have sinkholes. So we had a debate if buying a property that used to have a sinkhole is a wise investment or not. You can read all about it. There was also a bigger pocket podcast about it. About an investor, Amanda Young, that she actually did that as a business. She was looking for properties that had sinkholes. She bought them 50 cents on the dollar and basically renovated them, fixed them. And she also said that sometimes there was no real sinkhole. Some owners or someone approached to them and telling them, listen, you have a sinkhole. And then they claimed with the insurance company, they got something like $150,000 or $200,000 as a check. And eventually, she bought these houses cheaper, and she brought engineers that eventually either found out if there was really a real sinkhole or not, and then she got like a property for a discount that didn't have a sinkhole. And for the other ones that had sinkholes, so we can see here soon on the video to see how they fix the sinkholes, fix those. So I learned a lot about it. It's really interesting. They're using grout and stones. So basically, they're pushing it right inside. So let's take a look. All right. So you can see here in the bigger pocket podcast. This is on the homepage. So basically, if it's possible to find deals, because basically what Amanda Young says, she said that she was learning on Bigger Pocket. She that to look for opportunities, to look for properties that other people are not looking to buy. So there might be some people wrote as comments that, for example, on the coast of Oregon, there might be tsunamis or things like that. So people don't want to buy there. So this might be an opportunity. And for her, this was simply the sinkhole situation. So here you can see in this post, we're going to take a look at it soon. Basically, you're having, you're drilling inside the ground, you're reaching to solid ground, and then you're injecting grout and stones. You're placing stones in there, and basically you lift the house. And in many cases, this house is going to be stronger than other houses that didn't got this treatment. So this is interesting. Another post is, where should you buy? See here, where to buy real estate in 2021. So this was an interesting video that basically showed, first of all, 10 metros that it's better to rent than to buy. For example, in San Jose, California, a house, the median property price would be 1.2 million. So it's going to be cheaper to actually rent it. Or Austin, Texas, at 450, Sacramento, Seattle, Washington, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego. On the other hand, there are a few states that it makes more sense to buy the property because the median price in Cleveland, Ohio is $198. So it's cheap enough that the mortgage going to be cheaper than renting. Chicago at $338,000, Pittsburgh, Riverside, California, Miami, Florida. This is surprising because I know Miami appreciated a lot, but they still say it's number 5. They still say that for 400,000 median property price, it still makes sense more to buy than to rent. New Orleans, Baltimore, and Tampa, Florida. All right. So one of the indicators that I looked in is in which area is more profitable to rent. This other important metric is where people left. Okay, so there's another metric to show you're looking at moving companies, for example, U-Haul, and you can see that a lot of people were moving to Tennessee, Texas, and Florida, and Ohio, basically to red states from blue states. So a lot of people were moving from New York, California. A lot of people from California moved actually to Texas. It's made more sense to them. We do see some that came to Florida. This is a new movement, but still most moved to Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, all of these areas, and Ohio. So here you can see some of the maps of where, like moved from all of these areas in the north. So remember, there were percentage of how many were moving because, there's a majority of people that moved because of COVID. And I don't know, like something 20, 25%, as much as I remember. There was another 30% or so that moved because of economic hardship. For example, in New York, where I live, a lot of people lost their jobs because they worked in restaurants or other such jobs that were closed because of COVID. So it made sense to them to move to other states like Texas, where you don't have personal tax and you can basically pay less taxes. But remember that it's not always that the cost of living is cheaper in Texas, for example, because they compensate on that in other ways. For example, the real estate taxes, VAT, things like that. All right. So with the sinkhole discussion, all right, so you can see here, for example, how they drill inside. You can watch the video on our forums. So basically it says, you often hear horror stories about the land opening up around a house in Florida. So in Florida, there is a whole location, especially Pasco County in Tampa area, that it's kind of like the sinkhole corridor, apparently. So there's a lot of sinkhole activities in that area. So this is what happens. Eventually, the soil above collapses into the same cavities. So rainfall in Florida eats up the soil and creates cavities in the soil. Eventually, the soil above collapses into the same cavities, thus forming a sinkhole. Sinks can also be man-made. Water cisterns can appear even after heavy rains or floods due to unpredictable rainfall patterns and a rapidly growing population. Sinkholes are frequent and dangerous in Florida. Right, so we had a whole debate in the forum. Is it wise or is it not wise to buy a property, let's say for a discount, that had a sinkhole and was treated? So some people said, just beware. Some other people said, listen, the chances of that happening again in the same area are slim because the way they treated them, they make the property way stronger. So we suggest you to join the forum and also go to the website and read about it. This is the link to the Bigger Pockets podcast of Amanda. You can see here. So this is the podcast. All right. So before we go to the 6th daily post from Sharon Levy, our this week's entrepreneur of the week, let's see some other updates from today. Hi, everyone. Can a house that has both boarded up houses on both sides be able to get a permit? All right. So you can read the answer in our forum. There's a new citizenship track. We focus a lot in foreign investors. Some of you are looking to move into the US. So this is kind of exciting for whoever got became undocumented, let's say you stayed in the US and your visa expired. So as long as you've been in the US before on January 1st, as much as I remember, there is a new path. There used to be a path for citizenship in the past, before Trump era in 2013, for 13 years. Now they are doing a new path for an 8-year proposal. And as you can imagine, I'm sure it's all political. Eventually, 11 million undocumented people, when they're going to become a citizen, you can imagine who they're going to vote. I guess whoever gave them that path. All right, let's try and stay not political. Question: who knows the app Transferwise? Okay, so Transferwise is an application. It's a website by the inventor of Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson. And basically, it lets you send money with low fees, 0.8%. Could it be that conversion fee? All right, so they say it's a robbery. So I debate about that. Another nice thing, like whoever visited many states in the US, this is a nice idea of how to show all of the states you've been, like a picture in every state. A new client in Nadlan Capital Group, account manager Galit. All right, so whoever doesn't know, this $600,000. Whoever doesn't know, we have a service that you can go to. You can apply to it in 5 minutes. Basically, we shop around for you. Also for foreign investors, we shop around for you in a network of more than 40 different lenders that they compete on your loan. So you're more than welcome to apply for that. Some user is asking, how's I sold in Jacksonville? Hello, everyone. About 2 months ago, I decided to sell a single family that I own after feeling that the management company did not provide me with a reasonable valuation. I turned to this group for help. A lovely guy whose name is Yaron Yashar, which actually was an entrepreneur of the week in our forum. So thank you, Yaron, for helping. Who is a broker in Texas, immediately came to my aid. All right, this is very nice. Yaron did not owe me anything, and we did not even know him. But every time I approached him during the process, he was always attentive. So this is amazing to see how our community helps each other. Helpful and nice man. So if you are looking for a property in the area where it's special, I sign it, and my connection to it saved me at least $50K. Wow. Florida broker Kelly DeLucia is just amazing. Part of a very large firm in the US. From the first moment, she was professional, attentive, and available. Gave me professional guidance and their valuation before we dived into the process. Was 100% accurate. Amazing. The whole process in front of Kelly and her staff. So I'm going to try and look for her myself. All right, cool. Nice. All right. I really like to see such, referrals. This is great. All right. So we know that we discussed the US market, but it's interesting to see. You see this map, this line in Canada. Can you believe it that 50% of the population, I guess because it's cold, let's see how much land. 50% of the Canadians live north of this, and 50% live south. So here and here, same amount of population. Amazing. All right. Again, this is the discussion about the sinkhole. This is just an illustration. We had a lot of debate you can always click this link and go directly to the forum. Okay, you need to log in, of course, and you can see all of their responses. All right, now we had a question. If you have $500,000 in cash sitting in the bank, what would you do with it? So again, we had a few options in the forum, people saying what they would do. Would you believe this is a real city? All right, this was just, you can see this city look like a human being, quite cool. All right, so we've been through all of that. So let's go through post number 6, Sharon Levy. Last post for this week for this entrepreneur, and next week we're going to have a new one. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so this post is about living with real estate and an open mind to personal and professional changes. Wow, what a week it was. Amazing that with all the stress and strain in real estate, we know and can direct other things to us. So first, I want to thank my lovely father, Avi Ben Mordechay, again for the opportunity. All right, so Avi Ben Mordechay is not the father. It's just the translation. He is the manager of this project in the forum. And thank you, everyone who read, and also to those who contacted me in private. Today we will talk about life as a mother in combination with real estate, or vice versa, if you will. In the beginning, I lived with pangs of consciousness for all the afternoon I was in conversations with the United States and not with my girls. All right, so basically, like Sharon is an entrepreneur from Israel, and if you can believe it, like she and many other are doing everything they're doing from remote, like she's a foreign investor, like a lot of you guys. And basically she's saying that the time changes. Now, Israel is 7 hours ahead, and she needs to deal late at night to wait for the normal hours here in the US to call realtors and all of that. There's also the language difference. It does not matter at all how much we have been together this year. It's kind of such a heavy and burdensome sack that was born with. And a few months ago, a dear woman woke me up and reminded me of the tribal period. And why am I telling you this? Because once I could not make phone calls next to them. I needed privacy, quiet, concentration. So basically what she's saying, that it wasn't easy for her to do all of the phone calls next to her daughters, and actually a disconnect from my family. It was the opposite of the goal. So she's kind of like saying the change that she had. First, it was hard for her to make all of the phone calls next to her daughters. Let's see what happens. The dear woman reminded me how once upon a time during tribalism, the children looked up to their parents and integrated into their lives. Yeah, she's totally right. Like, no, in the not that far history, that kids were imitating the parents. Basically, if the parent was a carpenter, the kid would become a carpenter. So I guess she's saying like a tribe, basically the kids imitating the parents. So I know in my family, personally, I want my kids, whenever I look at a property or go to inspect a property, I'm taking my kids because I want them to learn. Today we've been going and designing an entire house based on a video that we got from a realtor and sketching it all. So I was sitting with my daughter, she's 10, and she's very good at it. Like she play on her iPad designing houses, and this is what she likes to do. So I'm sure it came from the parents. All right, the mood was welcome to join. And so after recovery from childbirth, the mother returns to her occupation. When she gives birth to her in a carrier, little by little, he gains confidence and learns. He watches his family do and penetrate to do as they do. He integrates into the world of his mother and the world of the family, and very quickly becomes one of those who makes and contribute to their home. So I totally agree with that. Like, try to make your kids part of your journey. Today we are only me, of course. Our children are treated like kings. Welcome to the world. Whatever you ask, let it be, and I will do. Our eyes are on them and their needs 24/7. We are drivers, hosts, cooks, housekeepers, ATM, and whatnot. So what between the two worlds? Yet we are far from the tribal world. I'm in favor of combination. Okay, so she's basically saying to combine, like the new world, like we are doing everything for our kids, like they are like kings. They get everything they want. In the past, the kids were helping more and being part of the tribe. And so I started slowly. First by sharing what I do, then by making calls to them, place boundaries. Mom here, but now mom works. Give them their place while maintaining my place. And what a wonder, I was able to remain a total mom, but also a total to myself. Okay, so she is now combining between the two worlds of working from home and being with the kids. When I saw the good that comes out of integrating motherhood into my work, I allow myself to work comfortably next to them and move from the world of motherhood to the world of real estate. Back and forth throughout the day, I know I came to a good place, a place that allows us all to grow. And so in real estate, I'm constantly learning in contrast with lots of super professional and experienced colleagues. Opens your head to new things in the field, checking where my fashion is now and if it matches the reality of the market. At the beginning, I thought I would do rentals. I fell in love with flips, and today my eyes are on new construction. This stage is the most important formula in my life, like risk diversification in investment. Thank you for being. It was a pleasure. In our current flip pictures, mine and the amazing partner in the field, Sharon Gold, we purchased it from the bank at short sale. All right, a magical week for everyone. Okay, so this is what she bought from the bank in December. Look how beautiful it is. Really, really, really beautiful. Wow, amazing work, Sharon. This is beautiful. I would be happy to live in such a place. This is really, really beautiful. All right, guys. All right, this was the week of Sharon, and we're going to see you next week. Look at this thing. This is amazing. All right, this is Sharon, and see you guys next week.